The humid evening air above Barcelona's training ground buzzed with anticipation as fans and journalists crammed against the advertising hoardings. Today's pre-season friendly against FC Seoul was meant to be a gentle warm-up, yet it turned into a roller coaster of emotion. As the whistle blew to end the first half, Barca trudged off with a slim 3-2 advantage, an edge earned but far from comfortable. Was the tide turning against them? The answer rose like a surge in the second half when Hansi Flick's fresh-faced second string took to the field and unleashed a storm that left everyone breathless. What sparked that eruption? By the final whistle, the scoreboard glowed a staggering 7-3 in Barcelona's favour, each digit echoing the roar of the crowd. Young midfield dynamo Gavi had danced through challenges to help build the lead, while towering Andreas Christensen planted a header home with the kind of silent authority only a defender can wield. But the night truly belonged to Ferran Torres, whose electric presence lit up the pitch. It was as if every blade of grass under his boots crackled with possibility. He was the spark that set the second half alight. Just how explosive was his show? In a blistering 45-minute cameo, Torres racked up 2 goals from just 2 shots on target, each strike a bullet of precision, and slipped one killer pass through a maze of defenders. Watching him felt like seeing lightning caught in slow motion, awe-inspiring, unpredictable, impossible to ignore. Every time he touched the ball, Chelsea's pre-season jitters seemed to vanish, replaced by the certainty that Barcelona had found their catalyst. And yet, after such a display, one question lingered in the humid night air. Could he sustain this form when the stakes truly soared? Moments after the final whistle, Torres faced a sea of microphones and flashing cameras. Reporters pressed him on 2 hot topics: the club's captaincy uncertainty and their ambitions for the looming season. First came the thorny issue of Marc-Andre ter Stegen. Rumours had swelled like dry leaves in a gale. Was the veteran German losing the armband? Torres paused, brow furrowed, before sounding a note of calm certainty. "We haven't talked about it, or at least I don't know," he began, voice steady. "But I think ter Stegen, because of the years he spent here, will be the captain." A simple statement, yet it felt like a lighthouse beam cutting through haze, guiding fans back to familiar shores. Why was his confidence so unwavering? His endorsement echoed earlier words from midfield maestro Frenkie de Jong, who had already thrown his weight firmly behind ter Stegen. The collective backing of teammates underlines the dressing room's unity, an unspoken pact that experience and loyalty still matter in the modern game. It was a reminder that titles are won not just by flair and speed, but by steady hands and steady hearts. And speaking of titles, the conversation roared forward, shifting to Barcelona's hunger for silverware. With a grin, Torres articulated Barcelona's lofty goals. The goal is always to win all the titles, the treble like last year, and also the Champions League. The words spilled out like a promise etched on every training ground whistle. He didn't stop there. The team is better than last season. Rashford is very strong. Joan is an excellent goalkeeper. He will give us security. He had each syllable infused with the conviction of a man who has glimpsed greatness and refuses to settle. A renewed squad, fresh faces, a trophy-laden horizon. Could anything derail this momentum? Before stepping away, Torres leaned in, voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "Oh, we are improving physically and technically. I have great enthusiasm for this season, and I want to be an important player." There was hunger in his eyes, the kind you see in champion horses champing at the bit. Yet whispers from training suggest a curious twist. Hansi Flick might see him as backup striker, nudging the former Manchester City man into a central role more often than on the wing. How would that reshape Flick's tactical tapestry? As the press pack dispersed like startled birds, the final thought hung in the air, heavy with possibility. Torres has already shown understanding movement and ruthlessly precise finishes in the opening tour matches. Like a puzzle piece half-slotted into its frame, he promises to complete the picture. If he can adapt to a deeper role, the stage is set, the pieces on the board. Now comes the waiting game. Will Ferran Torres rise to the challenge, or will this season's real battle play out somewhere beyond the roar of pre-season celebrations? Only time, or the first whistle of competitive action, will tell.